Maybe if you've been following the news, Mr. Adesina, right here we reported the situation at that federal government college where some of the eyewitness accounts said they were hearing gunshots at night. This is in Abuja. So I don't know, has that been substantiated enough? Is that enough for the president to react? I mean, does that fit into the kind of reaction that, the kind of question that could get the kind of reaction that we need?
Did you determine where the gunshots came from? If indeed there was gunshot in town, was it from the security agencies who are combing all those areas to flush out those who are hiding in bushes and forests? You first need to be sure whether it was a gunshot of a confrontation. If it was not confrontation and it came from the security agencies, then it's for good. We shouldn't just conclude.
What is a gunshot, Mr. Adesina, I believe? A gunshot in Nigeria is a gunshot in America, is a gunshot in Canada. It doesn't change the fact. When you hear gunshot in a city like Abuja, it's unusual. And so when people say they heard gunshot, and students are being taken away from school, a private university is going to shut. I mean, I actually told their students to go home right here in Abuja. There's some kind of tension and apprehension in town. And that's why, I mean, perhaps for those who are asking that they needed to hear from the president to address them on the state of of security, which according to them is deteriorating. We're seeing terrorists attacking a correctional facility right here in Kuje, in Abuja. So these are situations calling for attention of the #1 citizen of the country. Those who are asking for the president to react to some of these things directly, speaking to them, are they right or wrong, or how would the president react to this kind of situation?
The very next day after that correctional facility was attacked, the president was there and he spoke. Your station carried it. So what else? What else? Just now,
the president with this kind of situation, because let me remind you, Mr. Adesina, one of the things after about a year and a half or two, when we ask you and your colleagues in government about the security situation, you are quick to make reference to the situation in Abuja, where you made reference to the fact that there were attacks on the United Nations building, there were attacks on the police headquarters, but those are not happening. But recently we are seeing attacks very close to Abuja and its vicinity and the perimeters of the nation's capital. In fact, the terrorists threaten that they were going to kidnap a governor and also kidnap a president. These are some of the reports that we are hearing. And perhaps you do not think that the president, perhaps based on what some Nigerians are asking, directly need to address them to calm the tension or perhaps to allay the affairs on this kind of situation. You don't think it's needed?
It could also be that the terrorists knew that we are going to amplify their threats. And that was why they made those threats. They know that the media, print, electronic, will amplify what they are going to say. Like it is said, the oxygen that the terrorist needs is the media, is publicity. So you are giving them that oxygen. And that was why they made those threats, because they knew that, politics today, Shimon Kiwale was going to amplify whatever they say. And that's what you have just done.
I live in town in Abuja here. You live within the fortified walls of the Aso Rock Villa. This is not about amplification. Interestingly, you were on this other side of the divide, Mr. Adesina. You were in the media as a practitioner, a senior one at that. The question is, when they attacked Kuje Correctional Facility, was that a warning enough for it to be amplified? When the Minister of Education said, go away from school, was that just drawing attention or something that we need to really pay attention to? The question tonight, Mr. Adesina, is what the government is doing differently to stop some of these security threats.
Fine. Going direct to your question, what the government is doing is to address these issues. I just told you a short while ago that the president has summoned the security meeting for tomorrow. They are not going to be drinking coffee or tea there and just patting themselves on the back. It's going to be a frank discussion, and it will be, how do we sort these challenges that we have?
The comments of some of the lawmakers they made reference to is the statement made by the president. They alluded to the fact that the president said, look, the situation of the country, he cannot wait to, he pities the person who is coming after him about the situation of the country. And where they're asking the president to leave office, for those who think that it was justified, perhaps those who think that things are deteriorating, what do you tell them? Would you say that it is not, or would you say things are getting better? What would you be telling Nigerians tonight, Mr. Adesina?
Well, we have plenty of anarchists in this country. I've had a very senior lawyer, somebody we respected so much, who was talking yesterday, asking the president to resign. The president was tired. He's an anarchist, even though he's a senior lawyer. Some of those lawmakers are anarchists. Instead of trying to mollify the situation in the country, instead of talking sensibly, instead of appealing to the positive sentiments of Nigerians, they are stoking the fire. They are anarchists. But the news we have for them is that many more Nigerians are positive than the anarchists we have in the system.